Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Comic Clown Studios, and some of the people who came from this man named Jake Monroe. Jake Monroe. He's a emo right-wing YouTuber, or a conservative YouTuber, as me and him really do share similar views, and I really also agree with most of his views, such as like Britain's being overrun by Muslims and the citizens, or trying to protest against the UK government for not only allowing mass immigration, but also cracking down on the government's like putting the ID verifications for you to use the internet over there in the UK. And I cannot imagine how fucking awful the government is being right now over there. Like, generally today we all know, like, okay, politicians are going to be corrupt no matter what. Some of them have to be corrupt for a reason, or have to do corrupt things for a reason, and some of them are just corrupted just to be corrupted without having any reason or actual proof that they're actually doing the action that is supposedly for a cause. Not like giving a little brief of Jake Monroe, of what he does, and some of the things I agree with him with, because I myself am conservative. Now, personally, I'm a constitutional monarchist, but if I were to run for president, I would be Republican, as I like to follow if I were to be president, I'm going to follow tradition, because I was born here, and much people, I realize from some posts on Twitter say that diversity, there's a difference between diversity and then tradition, real tradition. And they're right. Tradition, so America, so let's talk about America, well, my country, America. So America was founded by whites. But since we started the westward expansion, we started collecting land. Thus, American land was first owned by the natives, which I believe should be bred more, because it is a very rare breed to find today. So the natives were the first race, then came the whites, and then the Latinos and Latinas, not the Hispanics. The Latinas and Latinos. I learned the difference between Hispanics versus Latins. Latins are the ones who come from South America. That the Hispanics are from Spain, from Europe. Now, I believe what if there was someone who was born in America but one of the parents were from Spain? That you would still be considered Latino. Now, if you were born in Spain, but you were Latino from South America or the Americas, you would be considered Hispanic. You see how that goes.
The words Hispanic and Latino are often used interchangeably, but they actually mean different things. Hispanic refers to folks who are Spanish-speaking or descend from Spanish-speaking populations and countries. So when you want to use the phrase Spanish-speaking, you can shorten that to Hispanic. On the other hand, Latino and Latina, which are gendered, O is masculine, A is feminine, refer to folks who are from or descended from Latin America. If you're looking for a gender-neutral form, you can use Latine or Latinx, but these terms are super debated.
Latinx, by the way, does not exist. There's a Latina and a Latina. There's no such thing as Latinx.
Next, if you're talking about somebody who speaks Spanish and is also from Latin America, then you can use Hispanic and Latino interchangeably. For someone from Latin America who doesn't speak Spanish, like Portuguese-speaking Brazilians, you'll want to use Latino. For now, remember this. Hispanic equals of Spanish-speaking origin, and Latino equals of Latin American origin.
Again, getting way too far off track with politics, because, sorry, I like politics. Now, what happened to the Erika HARDSTYLED remix upload? This was doing good for probably about 4 or 5 months. And it got taken down by YouTube's stupid monkey daycare AI people. And the only part that got highlighted was legit at the end. It was a little rectangle of the time. Now, within the video, within that time lapse, it was just black. Literally, that's all that was. It was just black. There was nothing else. The Hitler photo that I cropped to just his mustache, I did it because I said, fuck censorship. That is gay. And this is not the first time I re-uploaded this video. I actually re-uploaded it once before. But then I actually was doing a pre-edit of it and I got a warning and it already got taken down. But however, the funny thing is that when I was wondering what happened to the Erika HARDSTYLED remixes, I was looking for them. And then I decided, you know what? I should re-upload it because I can't find the thing anywhere. So when I got it uploaded, then downloaded, then deleted that because deleted the pre-edit I already uploaded to YouTube because I already finished downloading it to actually get it fully edited. I got a warning, and it said my content's been removed. But however, I already removed the content before the fucking thing even registered the thing, and I still got the warning. And then when I actually got it uploaded and I put a disclaimer and just put the Mystery Studio segment where animation was, it got removed like 3 weeks later. So I decided to re-upload it before I left Georgia to move back here in Louisiana. And it got removed. And it just highlighted the black end. I put the peel and still it got fucking rejected. And I don't know how that happens. But now, here's where I put my George W. Bush statement. My efforts have been exhausted. I've been trying to get this uploaded for the enjoyment of those who like history and historic music. Erika, it was not the national anthem of the Third Reich. The Third Reich actually, the anthem you hear today in Germany, they changed the lyrics. I think they changed some of the lyrics. But it's still the same melody, same instruments, same everything. Just different lyrics. Erika was actually a folk song about a girl in a valley. I forgot how. I remember watching a whole video about how Erika became created and why it was so iconic for the Nazi army or the Nazi military. And Erika has nothing to do with the Third Reich or it being an anthem. It was a folk song. So, what does this mean? What's the point of you saying this? I'm saying that I am unable and will not be re-uploading the song again. You actually will, unfortunately, cannot listen to it from YouTube, but however, you're fortunate enough to actually go on Mystery Studios and try to listen to it through Spotify. And again, this video, literally everything was censored. Well, actually, no, not everything censored. Only Hitler's picture was censored, but everything else was just photos I just found just to represent Germany. Or things that are iconic or reference to Germany. Like Kurt from Hoodwink, he's a German character. Well, most of the fucking fairy tales within that movie are German. Kaiser, William Kaiser II also was actually a real king of the Second Reich of Germany, of the Empire of Germany. Okay, yeah, I was about to confuse myself with the Weimar Republic. The Weimar Republic was what happened before the Third Reich. This is when William Kaiser stepped down as king, and Germany was introduced to democracy. But then, yeah, Hitler didn't take pleasure what was happening to his country. He thought he thought he blamed the Jews, even though I don't think Jews had anything to do with the country at all. I mean, the only thing that was like in there was like communism. That's just about it. That's mostly was fucking the country over, and then poor decisions, of course, by the other politician that were running it. And then when Hitler took power, he completely dismantled the system. He threw himself as top leader or as the Führer, and like he was very direct, but also, I mean, the quality of life within living in like the Third Reich was obviously not that good. Work production, how fast they were expanding, he was good at. Quality of life, unreasonable race of saying, hey, the Jews are fucking take over Germany, we gotta kill them all, makes no sense. Actually. But, well, besides the point, again, you're gonna notice I get off track quite a lot because I'm a very big yapper. Now, yeah, I unfortunately cannot re-upload Erika HARDSTYLED remix. You will actually have to listen to Spotify. And I don't know how Cindy the song cat was able to get her stuff back, or get his or hers. I believe it's so. From what I saw, the channel's run by a guy. I think he's the one running it. But then the voice actor, whoever voices Sydney, is I don't know, wife, friend, hired voice actor. However, that channel also had the same problem with the AI detecting it. Detecting his content as inauthentic, aka not real content, or generated content without labeling generated content. He was able to get that appeal because of the community. When he tried to get it appeal to YouTube, of course, YouTube's daycare center run by what's that fucking bastard's name? I remember sending an actual physical piece of mail trying to tell him, please get rid of my fucking strikes. And you see, I thought once you're finished with your strike, and your little warning, your channel will be completely clean. But I still have the fucking warning. That shit's supposed to be gone. Who is the CEO of YouTube? Let's see about Neil Mohan. I wonder why you're Arabic. But yeah, that guy. You can blame him for mostly why the fuck everything is like completely gone to shit and why he's not doing anything about it. He could do something about it because you're fucking CEO. If you're CEO, you can do fucking whatever the hell you want. But why are you not fixing the very things that YouTubers are complaining about? Like mom's, like the copyright issue. You see, with copyrights, I really think that, well, honestly, if the person who originally made the song made it copyrighted, then that is you have to go speak with them or get permission to use their music. Now, I remember like some YouTubers were actually like had the complaints about it and think it was YouTube behind it. But to be honest, I could kind of see some of it because often the YouTube audio detector sometimes will think you're using copyright music, even though the music's either free to use publicly or it compares it to another piece of music that actually sounds similar to the other music. Like, I remember having that same problem when I had when I was using Dire Dogs from Mario 64, and Mario 64 existed before whatever the fuck covered it said I was using, even though that song I thought I was using I never heard of, but it did sound similar. The melody was similar, but it was nothing like dire ducks, because that existed before whatever the fuck that did before then. But other than that, yeah, that's what happened to the video. Yeah, shout out to Jake Monroe for referencing me in a live stream, I believe, is what I've been told I was featured in. I was gonna give a shout out to this other guy who also mentioned to me that he did feature me. And I honestly will put my face paint on, but I have work in like an hour, so I try to get this video as quickly made as possible before I go for work. And I'm on it, and I was trying to look for where I was referenced, but I believe, it's actually, you have to buy a membership to see his previous live streams. And I am trying to save much of my money right now because fucking gas, car bills, and insurance bills raped my account. For 2 months, that's all it took. From $4,000 to $400. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how that happened. All I know is that this is Trump doing all of this. Reason why everything's so expensive. Why insurance is more expensive than the car is because of our president. If the world says like America's so bad right now, it's not us, the people of America. It's our leader who is the problem. I believe we should go to Iran because
This morning, serious questions about previous U.S. policy toward Iran during the Biden administration after reports show billions of dollars was handed over to the largest state sponsor of terrorism. As part of a hostage deal and prisoner swap in 2023, President Biden allowed Iran to take $6 billion in funds that were frozen because of sanctions. 2 months later, Iranian-backed terror group Hamas attacked Israel, killing more than 1,200 and taking 254 hostages. Joining us now to discuss is the Deputy Public Policy Editor for OpenTheBooks.com, Rachel O'Brien. Good morning to you, Rachel. You know, that was just one example that I gave. Your organization, though, found the Biden administration effectively provided about $160 billion in financial benefits to the Iranian regime. So break down where that money came from and how these policies made it easier for Iran to access cash.
All right, good morning, Jen. So besides that $6 billion for the hostage deal, that was 5 Iranian prisoners for 5 American prisoners, the Biden administration gave $154 billion from oil sanction relief. They didn't hand them that money, but they gave them sanction relief that ended up in that money going to Iran to be able to use it. So this was lax enforcement in the oil sanctions against Iran. 144 billion rather of that was between the years of 21 and 23. Then in November of 24, the Biden administration also granted a waiver to Iraq. Iraq had $10 billion there that they were saving. It allowed them to buy electricity from Iran. So that handed Iran another $10 billion. In March of 25, the Trump State Department let that waiver lapse. So those funds could no longer make their way to Iran.
And now we have this issue where the money that was released was supposed to go to humanitarian relief, but reports show it ultimately helped fund Iran's terror proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah. So how did sanctions relief and increased oil sales create that pipeline of money for groups that threaten Israel and U.S. allies?
Yeah, we know that Iran financially supports Hamas and Hezbollah. They've not been shy about that for decades. So the Biden State Department spokesperson said at the time of the hostage exchange that $6 billion could only be used for humanitarian transactions, right? And that it would be strictly monitored. For the $10 billion in Iraq that was released, Iran could convert those funds from Iraqi dinars to euros, a currency that's far easier to use in international markets. Again, the Biden administration said those funds could only be used for humanitarian purposes. So money is fungible, and we're certainly not believing a regime that is a state sponsor of terror when they say they're using the funds for humanitarian purposes, right? American taxpayers end up double paying by having to now contain some of these activities that we enable.
And there's always been significant criticism. Allowing money to exchange hands during a hostage deal only incentivizes the enemy to take more hostages, right? It's essentially a ransom payment. Hard to argue that when you look at the timing of October 7th, 2023. What lessons should lawmakers on Capitol Hill take from this, and what can we do to make sure money is not flowing again into the hands of a hostile regime, period?
So, for decades, we have had a policy that we do not give money to Iran, right? And so the Biden administration sort of broke that policy at that time. So the recent strikes, they've severely weakened Iran's nuclear and missile program. The previous strikes last year also did. But so we're also ending this practice of taxpayer-funded appeasement. The Trump administration has said this in that when they let that waiver lapse for Iraq last March. A State Department spokesman said that this ensures we do not allow Iran any degree of economic or financial relief. This what they're calling a maximum pressure campaign, it utilizes sanctions to limit Iran's nuclear capabilities and financial resources, right? You can't give them money and not expect them to use it for nefarious purposes. So the United States needs to work to ensure that we never have these policies again that unfreeze Iran's funds, regardless of the person in the White House.
All right, Deputy Public Policy Editor for OpenTheBooks.com, Rachel O'Brien, thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend.
You too, Jan.
Thank you.
Terrorists was holding 5 or 4 American hostages, or 6 American hostages. Joe Biden was informed to make a decision: either send $6 million or it was either $6 million or they were going to kill or do something with the American hostages. So instead of sending special forces like MARSOC to fix that problem, or the Marine Raiders is their other name, he just gave them the $6 million. But the Iranian terrorists did keep their word. But however, we don't negotiate with terrorists, period. I don't know if they're still alive. I don't know what really happened in the background. But what I do know is that that is what happened on the news. I'm not for Joe Biden, Kamala, or Trump. I just want a president that will actually get shit that we actually need. Like, we have unfinished business in Afghanistan. The reason why the whole world thinks we lost is because Trump has a sexual fetish for Middle Eastern people. He replaced the Taliban with another type of Taliban that's still the same fucking Taliban. How the war ended was because we had a political diplomacy or changes in political diplomacy with Afghanistan. We were supposed to kill Osama, which was the main reason why we came there. But the whole reason why America went to war was because the Taliban, who was funding Al-Qaeda, which Al-Qaeda is now known as ISIS, Al-Qaeda was Osama's people. And Osama got along with the president of Afghanistan, aka the Taliban. And the Taliban saw him as such a good friend. Hey, we're going to supply you with weapons, bombs, missiles, guns, whatever you need, daddy. And we'll be on our knees, sucking and blowing. And when we found out about this, we tried to ask the Taliban to please send Osama and tell us his location, they refused. And that's why we went to war with Afghanistan in the first place. where ASVAB standard scores were fucking 10. Now it's 31, and the ASVAB test is actually fucking hard for me. And Trump took what I could have been away. He destroyed the future I could have had. I can score 10 and above. My first one was 11. My most recent score was 17. That's my PyCat score. My real test score was actually 26. Pardon. And all I want to do was infantry, because that's what I knew best. Like, growing up, I have no clue what all the other things are but infantry. I was raised with military culture. I was raised around Marines, but I didn't know much of what Marines do or even are. I just know you have the basic adventures like Army with the ground forces, the ones you see in action movies and such, the Navy with the boats, and the Air Force with their planes. And I discovered and got looked more into the Marines a month, somewhere in January. I applied to the Army in November, but they said I had to turn 17. This was in 2024. And in 2025, in January, I got physical recruitment mail to the Marines. And I had no idea even it was the Marines. My mom just told me saying, "Hey Louie, you got something from the Army?" And I was like, "From the Army?" And I looked, I got up, put my glasses on, it did not say Army. It said Marines. And when I looked into them, more into them, I realized that most of the movies that my dad showed me either is Delta Force or Marines. The one Marine movie I was always fascinated with, that actually motivated me to exercise more, was Full Metal Jacket. And then later, there's another movie I also like, and I rewatched it for like the third time. My dad also likes that movie. He personally likes that Marine movie. It's called Heartbreak Ridge. Also a fucking awesome movie. And the more, as later, the more I also noticed, I realized that the Marines also sent me like even more letters like "Happy Birthday, Hector," and how much they were actually looking forward to actually having me into the corps. But unfortunately, I couldn't be in the corps because I've been fighting this ASVAB test for so long. So I can't be in it until I pass the test. I really hope it does go down back the way it was, but with Trump in office, I really don't see that coming. The Air Force used to be 40, but moments before we had our second attack on Iran, it dropped down to 30. I fucking knew there was some shady shit going on. So Trump just made life harder for all of us in America. If you're wondering, my foreign audience around the world, England, Japan, Vietnam, Mexico, Brazil. I'm trying to remember the top that are my top audience that are from other countries. After daddling for quite what I did not anticipated, but also I'm gonna have to edit this video and upload it. But yeah, I am in fact gonna put timestamps. So this is the conclusion, and to make this video put an end. So, conclusion. Reason why you don't see Erika REMIX is because YouTube AI Daycare Center or YouTube headquarters daycare is run by babies. So I got a strike. I was suspended for a week, and the reason why I got suspended was because at the end of the video, it was just a black screen it was a small little rectangle. It stamped where the content said was a violation, which is the hate speech policy. But at the end, all it was just black. There was nothing at the end. It was just a black screen. I peeled it, of course, expected, fucking got, like, quickly rushed and said, fuck you, deleted. So you actually have to go either A, to Missy Studios video and fucking just highlight the loop, or go listen to him on your Spotify. But other than that, I unfortunately cannot re-upload it ever again. And I thought my YouTube strike from the past, when I first got violated for it, for uploading the full, like, just the cut segment, it still never went away. The warning is still there, unfortunately. But other than that, that's why. Thanks so much for watching. I'm so sorry if I yapped this much than I anticipated, but also I'm glad I get to share some of my views with y'all, or political views, including Jake Monroe, who mostly is the reason why that thing got boosted a bit more. And again, thank you, my audience, for so much for watching. I'm sorry for the what the fuck you call that? Well, fuck it. It's sorry for the bullshit that YouTube pulled, is what I can try to, it's the only word I can describe it. But thank you all so much for watching. Have a good day, and all night. We'll have a lot.